We have been cursed, shunned by our people, and fled beneath the world of Astromundi to plot our revenge. We grew strong, developed powers from our new gods. When it was time, we emerged to teach all those that shunned us the lessons we learned. But we were too late. The cities lay destroyed by the hands of these great golden crafts in the sky. We called out for our revenge, and our god listened and struck out at those that stole victory from us. The explosion shattered the crystal sphere, but our god protected us. After the shattering of the Astromundi sphere by the hands of the mutants god, the Antellian Empire rose to power, driven by these crystal ships and powerful sun mages. They grew in size and power until they came across the Illithid. The mind flayers used hit-and-run tactics on the Antillian supply lines and used human agents to infiltrate their ranks. They then asked for help from the Arcane, who lent them a hand, but at a high cost. They taught them the secrets of the sun magic, and it helped turn the tide, slightly. The sun mages now rule a vast empire, and their society is based on the magic hierarchy. They are a reclusive race, with a little bit of bigotry to them. They are also a decadent people, and use masks to show their heraldry and status. The Crystal Ships is one of the most feared vessels in Wildspace. It looks like a bisected egg, round side down. It has an open deck with angularly curving spines that rise from the craft's sides like great ribs. Some of these spines serve as mounts for light ballistas, while some support sun sails that make the Crystal Ships so formidable. The whole vessel is built from incredibly strong translucent crystal, which reflects light in a dazzling shards of rainbow illumination. The magical sun sails are standard on every crystal ship and make it one of the fastest ships in the cluster. It carries about 70 heavily armed men and are incredibly dangerous to attack because every officer on board is an experienced sun mage. Typically, a crystal ship can carry 10 officers. These are weapons of war and serve little other purpose. They never are used for trading vessels. Many of the Antillian Empire use a soul blade. It resembles a short sword carved from the Shadow Stone. Each individual blade has a unique design and decorative pommel and constantly flickers with cold white flames. The blade has a magical enhancement. Exposed to sunlight, the soul blade will begin to glow and its flames will turn red and brighten intensely with a light spell. After 3 rounds in direct sunlight, the wielder may fire a 30-foot long beam of fiery energy that causes 1d10 points of magical fire damage. No natural or magical resistance to fire provide any defense against this attack. After this energy discharge, the sword returns back to its normal dark color with white flames. The soul blade can only release this stored energy 5 times a day. The Antellian Crystal Citadel is a monstrous vessel ranging from 1,200 feet to 1,700 feet tall and 300 feet to 600 feet wide in diameter. Larger than any other craft in the cluster, they are virtually indestructible under normal wartime conditions. The only method of destroying one of these vessels is to actually enter it and destroying the great shaft in the center of the citadel, dangerously weakening the craft's infrastructure and collapsing the entire citadel. A citadel holds up to 700 Antillians at a time. They also hold a full contingent of the crystal ships, with no fewer of 50 of these ships on board. They also have around 20 ballista to bear at any target, in addition to a full contingent of 40 sun mages. Few ships can stand within their weapons range of the citadel more than a few seconds without being destroyed. Like the other vessels, the crystal citadel are equipped with massive sun sails. These crystal webs spread from 4 separate areas of the citadel to create wings that radiate nearly half a mile from the main ship. This allows the citadel to move long distances. Shadow Stone has been worked into the wings and literally suck heat from the target by absorbing it and funneling it out the opposite end side of the sail. The sails are remarkably tough and will not burn. Even crashing a ship into them isn't necessarily going to break them. This tactic has been failed miserably in the past, ensnaring any attacking ships in the wings and allowing crystal ships to pick them off at leisure. These ships are used to besiege enemy colonies or attacking main forces. They are rarely used in direct attack, but they can be brought in to bear against resistant targets. The standard method of wearing down such abstinent opponents is to use the citadel's massive bulk and billowing sails to block out target from the sun's rays. This swiftly lowers the temperature of the target settlement. Over the course of the week, the temperature dropped from 60 degrees to a frigid 20 degrees. Because temperatures across the sphere are naturally quite stable, most settlements are not prepared for this extreme cold. Without sunlight, crops won't grow, and the crystal ship blockades always surround settlements that are being frozen out. Food quickly becomes a problem. Unable to feed or warm themselves, these settlements usually surrender to the Antillian conquerors. The Antillians worship Pyrox. He is the embodiment of the universe and all things that are considered part of him. He is a hard and angry god. He is represented by the people of the central sun of the Astromundi Cluster, called Firefall. He seldom involves himself in the affairs of his mortal followers, but they believe that his wishes can be divined by the alignment of the Firefall's clusters. The Antillians are bent on conquest and will stop at nothing until they control all of the cluster space. To this end, they have long consorted with the Arcane, who lend the Antillians their magical expertise to fashion powerful weapons and equipment for them. Currently, the Antillians are using their powers and arcane devices to increase the energy released by Firefall. The sun's energy is vital to the magic of the Antillian sun mages, and their powers increase in direct proportion to the Firefall's output. Unfortunately, the Antillian system of amplifying the sun's energy is hazardous. They have placed large mirrors of Shadowstone at regular intervals about Firefall. Shadowstone is unique among gems because it only reflects light energy and returns it to the source with greater force. Using this property, the Antillians feed energy back into Firefall, which increases the energy it puts out, which increases the feedback. What the Antillians do not know is that they are compressing the sun, increasing the mass while decreasing its size. This is pushing it to a critical density level. In a few more years, the sun will be compressed to its smallest point. Then it will explode, releasing all its energy in a cataclysmic wave of fiery death. The Arcane know this, and it's precisely what they want to happen. The Antillians also seek the destruction of the Illithids. For countless centuries, these two races have warred, with neither able to emerge as a victor. This had led to an obsession by the Antillians, who cannot rest until their tentacled adversaries are well and truly defeated. The Shadowstone is very important to the Antillians, in their plan to amplify Firefall's energy. The Sun Mages are constantly seeking more of this precious gemstone, and will hire anyone willing to search for the stuff. What do you think about the Sun Mages in the Antillian Empire? Have you used them in your campaign? Please like and subscribe if you want more of these videos. Thank you.